friends, welcome back to my channel. Today, as I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room, COVID-19, quarantine, all of that, and just how to survive quarantine college. So keep watching, we'll jump right into it. Obviously things are a little crazy right now. It's really hard to kind of like be doing college while also facing like this global pandemic, watching everything happening around us, and just like it's a completely different dynamic than what a lot of us are used to. We're used to going to class and doing our homework and sitting in a lecture, and now all of a sudden maybe you're on Zoom, maybe your teachers just put everything onto Canvas. Maybe your professor said, okay, that's it for the semester, we're just gonna end here. I don't know if that's happened to anybody, but if it has, I'm jealous. Anyway, so I just want to talk to you guys about a few things you can do to just make this time a little bit easier on you and just get through these last few weeks of the semester and succeed. So the first thing I want to talk about is some schedules. So I think that with being stuck in quarantine and having to like still be doing classwork and schoolwork and all of that, schedules are really, really important. So the first thing I want to talk about is sleep schedules. I know that, you know, when you don't have a set time that you have to be in class and doing certain things and all that, it can be really easy to just say, okay, well, I'm going to sleep at 3 a.m. every night and I'm not waking up before noon. And for some people that does work, but if that's not what you were doing beforehand, I don't recommend starting now. It's only going to make your brain go a little crazier than it already is. Your brain's going to have to try and catch up with this new sleep schedule and this complete change there on top of everything else that's going on, and trying to incorporate both at the same time. It's just going to make it harder for yourself. You know, you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, but still try and stay on what seemed to be a normal schedule sleep-wise for you before, and just stick with that through this. And then, of course, a daily schedule. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? And do you need to be set with different times? Some people can just work as they will through the day. Some people need a strict schedule to kind of get their day going. So one thing you can do that I personally do is making a to-do list. Every single day I use my notes app on my phone and I just make a list of everything I need to get done, whether or not it needs to get done that day or not. So for example, I've been wanting to just go through my closet and go through all my clothes and just figure out if there's any donations I'd like to make. Since I'm home right now, I've got all the time to do this. Why not go through and make sure that I actually am wearing the clothes that I have in my closet? So that is not something that has to happen today. In fact, it has been on my to-do list for I think over a week. But every day I see it and every day I'm like, okay, that's an option of something I can do today. And I'm not gonna forget it because I have more important things to do. So trying to just like create a to-do list of everything you can think of that you want to get done, whether or not that day, and just every single day the same list. And anything that didn't get done the day before goes on the new list, and it'll just keep it strong in your memory. And then on that note, there's a technique, I don't remember what it's called, so I will put it right here in editing, but it's basically this structure for forming a to-do list, and you don't necessarily have to format it this way, but just having it in your mind is nice. So there are 4 different categories. There's urgent, important, not important, and not urgent. You know, just knowing what fits where really helps just get through the day because you kind of know what your mind needs to be focusing on. So that's another thing that I would definitely recommend doing. And then as far as like a schedule further than that goes, you know, maybe you say, okay, from 9 to 12, I need to be working. Then I can take a break for lunch, and everything after that can be a little bit more soft structured. I work, but I'm taking more breaks until dinner, and after dinner, I'm done working for the day, that's it. Or maybe you don't work on weekends at all, or whatever. So just figuring out what's gonna work for you as a schedule. Do you need something very, very structured, or do you just need a loose, I'm gonna wake up at this time, I'm gonna go to sleep around this time, and I'm gonna work in those hours. Just try to play around a little bit and see what'll work. The next thing I want to talk about is eating. Right now, it's like a weird time. First of all, we're all bored and we want to eat everything. I don't know what kind of like, why we do this. I don't know what positive outcome that leads why we're like this as humans, but boredom makes me hungry. And so I've definitely found myself, I've eaten so much banana bread in the last 2 days. Between 3 people, we've almost finished 2 entire loaves of banana bread. And one, it doesn't hurt that it's like really, really good, but we don't need to be eating that much banana bread. Like, we're eating more than we need to. But when you're bored, you eat. You know, especially for anybody who has like any sort of hard relationship with food or weight or diet or anything like that, it can be a very confusing and difficult time of being really bored and it's making you hungry. You don't want to eat, but you want to eat, and and then you worry about gaining weight, or you worry about this, or you worry about that. First thing I have to say is that calories don't count in quarantine. They're just not real. And if you have a birthday during quarantine, you're losing calories because calories don't count on your birthday either. So it's like it balances out and you're losing calories. So don't worry about it. Also, if, you know, sometimes it can help to just think you're not seeing anybody for 2 weeks, maybe more, honestly. You know, it's okay if you have an extra cupcake that you have in your fridge. Do people put cupcakes in their fridge? I don't know. You know, whatever. If you eat the junk food, if you eat an extra portion at dinner or whatever, you don't have to see anybody. Everybody's, you know, and everybody's doing the same thing. And, you know, so maybe it can help to be working out too, have a workout schedule while you're in quarantine as well to help off balance that. So you don't, you know, because sometimes, you know, you're eating a lot and it's not about the weight, it's just you don't feel good. Just balance it out with, you know, healthy snacks as well, because I can't only ever eat brownies when I get snacky. I have to be able to eat like hummus and carrots too. I don't know. So another thing that's gonna be really hard, I think, for a lot of people during this time is there are very new feelings and there are expanded feelings. So, you know, it's really, really hard to be trapped somewhere for 2, maybe more weeks with no leaving. You know, maybe you're going to the grocery store, maybe you have like an important doctor's appointment, but for the most part, you're home for 2, 3, 4 more weeks. And, you know, that brings, you know, for people who already struggle with different mental health issues, it can really just make it worse. It can add that for somebody who's never experienced it before, and especially for somebody who's never experienced it before, it can be really scary and confusing because this is something you've never experienced. What is this feeling? I've never had this before. And then, you know, for people who have experienced it, a lot of different, you know, techniques that we're used to using to combat this aren't applicable. You can't go out and be with friends. You can't go out of the house and go around and just do things. You know, you can't do those things. So I think that one thing that's really important through all of this is just move with it. Just move with the energy of it, move with the feelings of it. Do you remember how I just told you that I was filming now?
Sorry, feel how long and hard my nails are.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Sorry. Love you.
Okay. Just move with the feelings. Allow yourself to feel them. Sometimes you're gonna need a day where you just wallow in it and feel it, and the only thing you do is watch Netflix and eat and whatever else you need to do. And then you can move through it. You know, I think that moving through it is going to be what helps a lot throughout this. we don't have the space to try and deny these feelings or pretend that they don't exist or that they're not affecting us as much as they are. You know, for example, for me, I have OCD, and while I'm more counting type than cleaning type, I found myself hand sanitizing all day. And I don't even think about it. I just grab my hand sanitizer and I'm sanitizing, and I'm washing my hands so much more than I was before, and all this stuff. And, you know, if I tried to, like, act like that wasn't my OCD coming up or, you know, things like that, it would make it so much harder. I know it's to make me feel better to sanitize my hands. I sanitize my hands, and to keep them from then drying out, I have hand cream on my desk too. And, you know, I just move with it. I don't make myself feel bad for hand sanitizing. It's not gonna hurt me. And move through it. I know that I'm not gonna be hand sanitizing every 2 hours for the rest of my life. It's how my brain is dealing with it. And on that note as well, there are other things that aren't necessarily making this easier. So, you know, we can't socialize. Socialization has decreased tremendously. I'm lucky I do, you know, I'm staying with my family through this, so I'm seeing other people, but, you know, I'm not seeing my friends. I'm not going out and doing things, you know, I'm not going to her campus meetings once a week. You know, we're doing them through Zoom. And I think that's going to be a really important way to get through this. Zoom your friends. I know that me and a couple of my friends are doing a PowerPoint party over Zoom next week, and that's one way that we're just dealing with not being able to see each other. You know, my mom and all her cousins are doing Zoom calls. You know, another thing to do is to talk with the people that you're staying with. You know, if you're staying alone, that's a little harder, but, you know, I'm staying with my family, so I'm, you know, getting to see them more than, obviously I'm usually at college, so I get to see them more, I get to communicate with them more, which is really nice. You can socialize through social media, you know, take advantage of, you know, social media and to keeping in touch with other people, watch people's stories, see what they're up to, see how they're dealing with it, all that kind of stuff. You know, just find different things you can do depending on your situation to help boost that socialization. I think it'll make a lot of people feel better just by getting a little bit here and there. And sometimes that can even mean, like, you can socialize with fictional characters. Read a book, watch Netflix. Just, like, it sounds weird, but you're getting kind of into somebody else's world, somebody else's life, and you can just get lost in that throughout this. And the last thing I really want to talk about is personal productivity, especially for us college students who are still, like, we didn't just stop college, you know, we're not home on vacation, we still have a full workload. It can be really easy to get lost in that. And I think for me, one thing that's been really helping is having personal productivity projects. So I want to go through my closet. I want to go through all of the drawers in my room and purge out everything I don't need. I've already cleaned out my bathroom. My dad has masterclass, so he was able to give me a free year. So I've already gotten through 2 full masterclass classes, and I'm on a 3rd now. I'm going to finish doing my bathroom that still needs like a shelf or 2 to go up. You know, things like that that can be personally productive and projects that you want to get done. It just makes you feel a lot better. It makes you feel like you're not just sitting inside for days and days and weeks on end, and just helps you feel a little bit better about things. So I hope that this was helpful. Let me know your tips and tricks in the comment section down below. Any other videos you'd like to see. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!